Hello, and welcome to part B of my interview with Hayley Peacock. Go and check out part A if you want to listen to the whole thing. However, if you want my thoughts on Hayley's approach to building a school, or you've got less than 15 minutes to spare, then let's get started. I really did get a lot out of Hayley's interview and was super inspired by her attitude to these large-scale projects. Just absolutely going for it and aiming for the big vision. With both her nursery settings and the Atelier 21 school, she was super focused on what she wanted, and she made it work. Her vision was for a school that was different to the mainstream options, that offered kids more flexibility and more options in their education. The boldness in her ambition and timescales really stood out to me, and going from an idea to opening a school in 16 months is an amazing achievement. Hayley obviously put in a lot of hours of hard work to build Atelier 21, but one of the things that stood out to me was she knew where she needed help. I'm one of those people who will try to do everything on my own and end up struggling along the way, but Hayley identified where her weaknesses were and filled those gaps. Working alongside an Ofsted inspector throughout the project was key, and knowing that she needed to hand over administrative processes to others meant she could focus her efforts where she knows she does best, on building the vision. In this way, we can not only create change projects that make a difference, but that use our strengths and that we actually enjoy working on day to day as well. The go all in and go for it approach to the project came across in the way she overcame problems as well. When COVID hit and she had just weeks before signed an expensive lease on a building, that would have been an easy place for her to crumble. But her attitude was, I've done it now, we've just got to get on. When the school had to close and she had 24 hours to come up with an entirely online curriculum, she rallied her team and threw herself at the problem. There's a confidence in tackling a problem that comes across in the way she just does it, without thinking too much about the what-ifs and the maybes. There was one thing that kept coming to me, though, through this interview, which is what I want to work with you on today, and that is Hayley's attitude of starting before she was ready. When she bought her first nursery, she wasn't aware of what the early years curriculum even was, so she made it her job to know and find out fast. When she had the idea for Atelier 21, she was advertising the launch of the school before it had been built. In fact, before there was even a building to house it in. But this wasn't a maybe project, it was absolutely going to happen. Her boldness and confidence and determination in making a project work meant that when she told people she was going to do something, people believed her and bought into her vision. What this creates is momentum and excitement around your project. You're building interest from the very start, not waiting until it's ready to tell people. As Hayley said in the interview, even though the school has been open for over a year, she still feels it's in development. But without opening, without the kids and the parents and the teachers and trying stuff out, she would never have known what worked and what didn't. She wouldn't have been able to create her 5 pillars of curriculum without practicing them in real life. She would never have had 42 pupils signed up for her first year the school was open if she'd told prospective parents about a hope or a possible school or something she would like to do someday. It was happening. The doors would open and there would be an exciting and different curriculum available from day one. This boldness in selling your ideas comes, I believe, from a clarity about the future you're providing. Not the day-to-day details perhaps yet, but the vision. Being confident in where you're heading and making this future super clear to yourself means you can make it clear to others and start acting in a way that shows that it will be happening. Okay, here's an exercise that we can all try today to build our future vision more clearly for ourselves and get excited about our change projects. It's time to daydream. I do this all the time, but I often don't spend enough time in my daydreams as I get bogged down with the impossibility of it all. Well, impossible is what we're aiming for here today. So, take a bit of peaceful time to yourself and firstly, think about or preferably write down one thing you want to change about the world. What breaks your heart? What one massive purpose could you work towards that would feel meaningful in your life? It doesn't matter how big and ambitious it is. This is what drives you. Do you want to change the face of education across the world? See an end to inequality in your country? Ensure every person in the world has enough food, water and shelter to live comfortably? Whatever your big vision is, bask in it. Imagine what it would really be like, how the world would be different if this happened. Now, place yourself in this future. How do you feel? Where are you? What activities are you doing? Imagine one specific moment in this future where you're talking to someone and telling them about what you've been up to over the past couple of years. What are you saying? What are you most proud of? What are you looking back on and relaying to them? Now go into a little bit more detail. What are you doing each day in your future? What time do you wake up? Who is around you? What activities make it into your day? How do you feel at the end of the day? The more we envision the future as something that is going on right now, the more our brains will tune into this and start acting as though this is already happening. For instance, when we imagine a future where the world is bright and our dreams have been achieved and we're waking up every morning and going for a walk first thing, and then we start actually getting up each morning and going for a walk, we're tricking our brains into thinking that this future is already here. When we start behaving as though we are in our dream becomes real. This interview made me realise that I need to do this, to do more than just dream about ideas, but to create a vision I can almost see, smell and touch, so I can show it to others and get them as excited about it as I am. It doesn't matter that I don't have everything I need yet. What I need will become clear over time. Together, let's create futures that are so clear we can talk about them as though they are real already. The future is ours, my friends. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Limitless, where we are making the impossible possible. It was so great to have Hayley as a guest. She's a woman who obviously cannot be stopped when she has something she's aiming for, and it was amazing to see into her process. Our next interview will be out in a couple of weeks, but I will be back next week with another episode. Have a great week, everybody.